Hey, welcome to this video. So just working on a BA. This is actually my personal car. You can take the door card off if you wish. This is a 2005, so it's getting on a little bit in years. So we've basically just got 3 bolts on the side here to take off. Just a torque head, 3 bolts. Then inside we've got a connector to actually take off, which just depresses just there and it fits in there. This is just like a bicycle cable. Just pull that off. Let's go and have a look and see why the central locking wasn't working properly. Okay, so going back to the back of the van, there's just 2 cable ties that you need to take out with this device here. So you've got a cable tie just there, and on the other side of the mech there was a cable tie just there. Just cut them off, they're only small cable ties. So undo the 4 screws, no big deal. Flip the thing upside down. Now this is something that you can do yourself, it's no big deal here. So whenever I'm pulling apart a lock, what I always do is place each component in its spot as I go along. And basically what happens to these little mechanisms is that the worm drive gear here just breaks in the middle there. So let's just have a quick look at that, and we can see that it is broken. I'll just point to it. So you can see just there how it is separated. So all we're going to do is replace this part here. Focus. Okay. So let's pull this out. It's pretty self-explanatory here. We've got a spring that side, driver in the middle, and a worm gear like that running off a motor here. So that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think really need to... Oh, there we go. There goes all the springs and bits and pieces. So like I'm doing in the back of the van. So that was the broken bit there, and that's the other part there. So what we've got, our replacement kit, just move all these pieces away that were existing. And she's just checking the spring tension. So that's the OEM one. And let's have a look at the aftermarket one. Oh, very hard to tell if there's any difference there. I think the OEM one might have a little bit more pressure than the aftermarket one. I really don't see why that would cause any problems whatsoever. So you do get a spare motor. Whether I replace the motor or not, I don't think I really need to show you the truth. There's no real point in that. So what we'll do is we'll put this back together. And, there's the other spring. Let's check that. You know what? I might actually use the OEM springs. I can feel just ever so slight the difference in pressure. So that's how it goes back together. We've got our spring that will go on first. So tipping this upside down, place your spring on. The guide, it's fairly self-explanatory, but we place that on there like that. And we've got our little cam that is going to lock and unlock the door. So if you want to put that under pressure, probably no problems there. And then we'll put another spring guide on top here, and we'll put another spring, and then we will place this back into there. And you can see where the Vaseline or grease is. That's where the guide is going to slide up and down. So I'll just pause the video and put it in. Okay, so here we've got the spring and the guide and the cog and all that in. So what I found was the easiest way to do it is first place this cog in there. Now if you notice that there is a piece right there where the spring is meant to sit on, have the cam halfway in there. So first slide it in that way, then rotate the cam to compress the spring. The driver will come back, and just before you place it all the way down, slip in the other spring, and you can see that it fits in really nicely just there. So that's the only trick that there is to it. So first of all, place the components on the worm gear, feed in this cog, wind this cog backwards so to compress this spring here, and then just before you push this piece down, slip in the spring, and all you do is just grab your finger and just push it in and then place it down, and that's it. That's all the trick was. Then place the mechanism back together. If you wish to try it, you can, but obviously you want to hold down both ends because normally it would be in that position. So I can spin the motor and just make sure that it actually is doing what it's supposed to be doing, which you can see that it is. I'm just trying to hold this down and film it at the same time, and then that basically locks and unlocks. So when this breaks, what basically happens is the outside handle will unlock the door. So if you have a driver's side or a passenger side, and you go to lift the handle and the car's locked, you'll kind of notice that it will just unlock on you. You probably have a double beep as well. It probably won't allow you to do that. So we'll place this back together, put it back into the mechanism like that, screw it back together, put it back in, and then I will test it. Okay, so when we're going to put this back together, the vehicle is going to be in the unlock position. So how we can simulate that to know where this cam is going to be in relation to when it's locked or when it's unlocked, what we can do is turn the mechanism on its side like this, turn some light on, and we will latch it. Okay, so that's latched at the moment, that is locked. And then we can try the outside handle, which is here. I'm going to push it, and it just unlocked the mechanism like that. So that's the position that you want to put it into when you put this motor back in. So we will wind it. So if it goes in that way, we will wind it so the cam is more that way. I think there's enough room that you're not going to have to worry about that all that much, but we will see when we put it back together. I've just wound it a little bit just to make double sure. Okay, so just placing this down just ever so slightly. We'll have a look inside there. There's our cam actuator, and it appears that there's enough room in this mechanism right there to kind of not worry about it as long as it's in the center. So just taking this out one more time. So I have it wound. Let's unwind it. So equal pressure on there, on the motor. Let's place it back in there. Let's have a good look. Okay, so it is close. I can just see on the cam when it's closing there. It is very, very close. Try and get some light on the situation. So I would say, to be on the safe side, I think I would prefer to wind it just a fraction like that. I'll make sure that when I do close it, it's definitely sitting there. Now keep in mind as well, the BEM will actually recognise that, and you can see there's a lot of travel in there as well. So I don't see any problems whatsoever if you did wind it a little bit. So I'll screw this back together. Okay, so we've replaced the 3 bolts, the 3 Torx that are here. We've connected the cable, we've connected the rod inside there, and we've connected this cable inside here. Looks like this door has been taken off a few times, and we will just put that like that for the time being. So before, what was happening is that when you lock the car, if you pull the handle up there, it would unlock. So let's lock the car. Okay, that's good. Check this door. So I think this one's gone as well. So I'm going to have to do that. So lock the car and it doesn't unlock. So that's good. So this one has got to be done as well. That's obviously broken. Let's check this door. Okay, so this one's okay and this one's okay. So we will have to pull the passenger rear door apart again, but that's how you know whether that gear is actually broken. Now this one's fixed, but we've got one more to go. So unlock, you can hear all the central locking going, and this one's unlocked as well. So one more to go. Okay, just like the front passenger, exactly the same thing. Remove the cable ties under these 4 screws, pull them back out. So let's do that. Okay, so we've undone the 4 screws, we've removed the cable ties. Let's grab the mechanism, pull it down, let's have a look. And is it breaking in the normal spot? It is. See, it's just spinning around. Okay, let's do it. Let's see, maybe I can get the camera. Wonder if I can. Yep, okay. I'll pull this out. Spring, spacer, piece, blah 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 blah. New one. As I said, like, I can replace the motor, but there's probably no need. Spring. We can use the existing spacers or we'll use the new ones. Well, they're actually not spacers, they're more like a locating thing. I'm going to use the OEM springs. So what we need to do is we need to get this inside there, place that in there, so what I'm doing is I'm winding it, I'm turning it like that, so it sits there like that. Now the trick is to put this spring right there. So might use just lift it up a little bit more. It was so hard to do this sometimes. Oh, it's come out. Alright. Really going to try again. Let's pull it out a bit. And there we have it. So just confirming the spring is on the right spot. Yes, 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 and that's it. Just wind it just a little bit. So again, just check the mechanism, which is locked and which is unlocked. I'm just locking it. Okay, so that's in the unlocked position, which is where the car is. And it is correct the way I've wound it. I'll just make sure everything is sitting okay, and it is. I just remembered to cable tie the cables back into place. And I guess that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll put this mechanism back in the door. Actually, I'll pause it and I will put it all back together. Just a clip like that, just depress these two clips, push that out, pull that out, unclip this, pull that out, 3 screws, feed your bicycle cable back in there, push it in, turn it around, clip it on there, put the door trim back on, and you're happy days. Thanks for watching. Hey, just before the sun goes, so let's lock the car and try this handle, and the car is now locked. All done.